This guy was telling me ati kuna hata time alikuwa na making 700k per week. Nikamuuliza really? But I'm like, wewe umebuy E350. Ini gari watu wananunua waki actualize. So I asked him, what do you do for a living? And I specifically told him, ama unafanya biashara ya wash. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, karibu tena sana. My name is Cynthia. I talk about relationships, entrepreneurship, and all things lifestyle. So, a girl has been missing on these YouTube streets for a minute. Honestly, it was a case of, taking a break because I'm juggling so much, work, entrepreneurship, YouTube, the rest of my life, my social life. So 1 week became 2 weeks, became 3 weeks, and before I knew it, it was 2 months down the line. So let me tell you, a lot has been happening in my life. And from the title of this video, I'm about to give you guys a story time of how I ended up finding out the guy that I was dating is a con artist. Guys, let me tell you, you hear stories about people or girls who have dated con artists or vice versa, and you just never think they can happen to you, until you realize you are a victim. So without a lot of, details, let's just jump right into the video. Alright, so we're gonna begin from the very beginning. It's gonna be a long story. Hopefully I'll try to make it as short as possible while capturing all the details. So, how did I meet this guy? So last year, guys, I was looking for a car. I badly wanted to buy a car. I was looking everywhere. I followed every car bazaar in Nairobi, just doing my due diligence. I was following all the car dealers that I knew, legit car dealers that I knew. And one of the car dealers I was following is called Mwangi Mercedes. You guys, I know if you're on the streets of Instagram and you're into cars, I'm sure you've heard about him. So how did I come across Mwangi Mercedes page? It was through Otile Brown. Otile Brown, I think, is a big like friend of his. So last year alikuwa amempost, the way he buys cars from him, akiwa coast walikuwa amepostiana, and this guy managed to bring the car for Kate actress and film director and also Njugush, right? So of course I'm there looking for somebody to help to bring in cars, bring in a car for me. So I reached out to him. I called him. We had a conversation. So I went through his page. Now I was going through his page. I was looking for somebody who was not a celebrity, somebody who was not like older and who had bought a car from him, right? So I happened to stumble upon a guy who had bought a car from him in 2019. So he had bought a Mercedes. Was it an E250 or E350? One of those, one of the two. Okay, and also guys, for legal reasons, I'm not supposed to divulge to information about this particular guy because I was lucky. I got away. I didn't get scammed. So I'm not about to give a lot of information for legal reasons. So anyway, so I see this guy, he's young guy, bought a Mercedes. I was like, oh, okay, let me follow him so I can see what his review about Mwangi Mercedes services. So nikaanza kumfuata. He was private, so when I followed him, a while later he accepted my request and he also followed me, right? So I went through his page. Let me tell you, he's a mad flexer. Yani page yake yote imejaa tu like big cars. We're talking Mercedes, we're talking convertible Mercedes, we're talking ML Mercedes, we're talking AMG Mercedes. You guys, you understand? So me, I got excited. So by looking at his page, I was like, either this guy is from a rich family or he's doing illegal business, because he was a very young guy. I could see it. Yeah, so he started following me, and I could see he could see my recaps. But he would never comment and would never comment for me. Also, I would never even have the courage or the guts to reach out to him. Nilikuwa tu kuona tu vile gari nampeleka. So fast forward, that was the whole of I started following him around 2020 August, thereabouts, August, July. life moved on, nini. Around October, he commented on one of my recaps. I was showing what I dressed and he was like, beautiful. I said, thank you. Then that triggered me to like go on his page and see if I could figure out if he was dealing with somebody. So, okay, mimi nimeva my DCI cape as a woman. And he hadn't posted any girl, but I'm telling you, I found out that he was dating somebody. I saw, let me tell you, if you have your detective abilities, when you're looking for a nigga, you look at the girl who's liked the pictures the most. If not that, you look at the pictures that people have tagged him as well. And you go deep. Sorry. And you go deep. By the way, don't be don't have shame in this game. You go deep. So I found a picture of a girl, a picture of two hands, a girl and a man's hand, and I was assuming that is his hand, and zilikuwa zimeshikana hivi. So immediately nilijua to this guy selling somebody. I'm not even gonna get involved in that, right? So we kept on moving. Tukaendelea 2020 kaisha, 2021 started. So around Feb, I was going to get my hair and my nails done in town, as is the norm. Every month, I call it maintenance, so I go get my hair and my nails done. As I'm coming back home, I normally park at Lifestyle. Okay, so nimepata gari, by the way. That's a whole other story I'll tell you guys. I didn't end up importing. I bought a local car. I got a very nice deal, so that's how I got my car. So I'd parked at Lifestyle, right? So I was rushing home because of curfew. This was when the curfew was 10 p.m. and I park in Lifestyle. So as I was leaving Lifestyle, kuna kwanga na clubs. There's some clubs, small clubs over there. So it's around like 9:30, right? So the guys are closing the clubs and telling people to leave. So kulikuwa natuka barabara, but I spot him. He's talking to some other guy on this side, and on this side there are some other, kuna a crowd of boys, right? So in my head I'm like, should I stop? Shouldn't I stop? Should I say hi? You know, I just know him from Instagram. Anyway, so unconsciously or subconsciously, I ended up stopping my car and I was like, hey, I know you, you know? And both of the guys are like, me? Then I said, no, I pointed him out like, no, it's you. And I said his name and he was like, oh. Then I said, oh, I'm Cynthia Waithera. He was like, oh, hi, Cynthia, how are you? Nikambia, I'm good, nini. Then the guy behind me, because tulikuwa tunatoka wengi, started honking, like, you all, songa mbele. So anyway, he goes ahead and tells me, give me your number. And come on, wait, I'm going to DM you my number. You just let me leave because of the person honking. Then he was like, what? Forget them. Give me your number. And let me tell you, hapo tu ndo nilianza tu kumails. I was like, okay, let me give you my number. So I gave him my number quickly. Then I left. Right. So that was how we exchanged numbers. All right, guys. So 10 minutes after that incident, I was home because my house is not very far from the CBD. Literally in 10-12 minutes, I'm always home if there's no traffic. As I get home, I settle down, you know, I get ready for bed and I sleep. The next morning when I wake up, I find he had already WhatsApped me. But at this point, bado sikuwa nimesave number yake, but nilikuwa najua ni your number, like I remember the number. Alright, so he told me that after leaving town, him and his boys had gone to party at numero 5, and then the cops raided the place. So I was just over there thinking, curfew is 10. Why would you even have the guts to go to a club after 10? I mean, anyway, long story short, people were still partying after 10. So Saturday, the agenda for that day was to get my hair done. The previous day, I was getting my nails done, waxing, but now Saturday I was getting my hair done. And then after getting my hair done, me and my friend Diana were meeting up for Burger Week. It was around that time. It was Burger Festival, I remember. So we went to, we were meeting up and going to Cafe Casa. Right, as usual, I'd parked at Lifestyle. So I went to pick my car. So before I left Lifestyle, I received a call from him. You know, he calls me, he tells me, you know, Waithera, I can't stop thinking about you. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh Lord, it's that lame pickup line from boys again. So I'm asking him, I'm a total stranger, what do you mean you can stop thinking about me? Like, what part of me? Is like, oh, you know, you're very pretty. And come, oh, thank you so much. Then I told him, before we even go further, just let me know, are you single or taken? Keep in mind, guys, mi nilikuwa nimejua mi nilikuwa najua he's taken, right? He told me I'm single. Nikamuuliza, are you single or are you single? And he's like, what's the difference? Nikambe single uko single, but single there could be somebody, you know, hovering around. He's like, me, I'm single. Actually, the things women in Nairobi have shown me, I don't even think I want to be in a relationship anymore. Okay, sawa. Then he, you know, posed the same question to me. I told him, me, I'm very single. Actually, I've been single for 1 year. So me, I'm single, triple. Nobody can claim me, nothing. He's like, okay, good to know. Then he was like, oh, do you want to hang out? I told him today. He's like, yeah. And I come back, I know today I can't hang out with you because I'm hanging out with a friend of mine. Then we're going for Burger Week. Then I told him, maybe tomorrow, maybe we can do Burger Week. Tomorrow is the last week. He's like, no, I don't like burgers. I'm not into junk food. Comes out, what do you like it in? He's like, oh, I like it in nyama choma, nini. And come back, on that note, there's actually, he asked me, where do you stay? I told him I live in Kilimani. He's like, all right, maybe you can suggest a place around your home. Nikasema, why don't we meet at Ashaki? Because a friend of mine that week had gone to Ashaki na alikuwa ananiambia, oh, Ashaki is a very nice joint. The midday is good. He had a lovely time. So he was like, oh, one day me and you should go together. I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. So that place was in my head, like, because I'm a Nyamchom next to my home, why not? So I told him we can do Ashaki. He's like, I know Ashaki, yeah, let's go there. And come, okay, Kesha, what time? I remember this was the last weekend and I had booked to go to church. The last weekend before the president locked down curfew kakua 8. I booked to go to church. I remember akaniambia, what did he tell me? I told him, so what time do we meet? Because me personally, I told him we can meet at 1 after I leave church. He told me, no, let's meet at 12. I didn't mention the church bit. He's like, no, let's meet at 12. Okay, fine. So me, I went ahead. Nika meet na Diana, nini. I was excited about the next day. I'm like, oh, you know what, tomorrow is a good day. I'm going for a date, nini. You know, just normal excitement. The next day came. So the next day is here. This is Sunday. I'm excited. You know, you just get excited when somebody calls you out for a date. And even, I think I was even more excited because I felt like now I'd be able to see the car. Right? So I was excited about seeing the car. I'm a big car girl, you know, like I'm into cars. I can tell you things about cars, but like local cars. Usianze kuniuliza mambo za Lamborghini. No. Just our local cars. I can tell you like a lot. So I'm excited because now I'm gonna see this guy. He sounds like he's up my radar. He's single. You know, kuna so many possibilities. That's why you're told minimize the expectations. All right, so we were supposed to meet at 12. I get ready. Hata sikuenda kanisa. I didn't go to church. I was just like, Lord, let me just get ready for this date. So I got ready, pulled up my nice dress. I did the most. My hair, because at that time I remember the hair I had from the salon really backfire. So I decided to wear a wig. Like, I just made sure I was supposed to make an impression on this first date. So around 11:30, I'm waiting for like that message, you know, hey, have you left the house, Ivo? Nothing. So 11:45, nothing. 11:50, I'm like, I didn't want to be the first one to do this, but let me just do it because me ndo nime get ready. Nikam text, nikamuuliza, yo, are we still meeting up? No response. 12:10. I didn't want to call him because let me just call him. I call him, he didn't pick. I call him, he didn't pick. So naanza kusema, has he stood me up? Are these the consequences of not going to church? And then a while later he calls me. He's like, yo, akipole, honestly speaking, nililala, nimeamka late, then I've gone to the mech to take my car to the mech. But I'm still coming. Are you still coming? He's like, yeah, I'm still coming. Okay, just let me know because my place is not very far from that place. It's literally like 2 minutes away. Just let me know so that I know what time to leave. It's like, okay, 12:30, 12:45. Yeah. By then, let me just tell you, that day I also had a date with somebody else. So I decided nitafanya hivi, nitafanya mwenye aliniomba date wa kwanza ndio nitaenda na yeye, and happened to be now this guy. So the other guy, kwanza yeye alikuwa anafaa kunipeleka Karen. I just told my friend, I told the person who was hooking us up, nikamwambia it won't be possible because I was meeting up with somebody else. Okay, so at that point I started to think maybe I should cancel on this one and go for the one in Karen, which I should have. Honestly, looking back now, I should have done that. So nikasema okay, sawa. One ikafika 1:20, he called me. He's like, oh, niko 7 minutes away. Nikamwambia you sure? Akaniambia yeah. Nikamwambia okay, sawa, wacha nitoke. So nikatoka, nikaenda Shaki. Got there in like literally 2 minutes from my house. So at a Shaki, the first thing I saw was the car, which was my first time there, and my car was dirty. I was like, yo, you can clean my car. 12 nimetoka kwa nyumba around I think at 1:30 imefika. I'm just like, gosh. Sasa nikaanza, initially my first response was not to get angry, but sasa nikaanza kasirika. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I here? You know, who does this on the first day? Like, this is a very bad sign. So I call him and I'm like, yo, me, I'm leaving. Weko unakuja, uje tu mimi nimeenda, so no need comes like acha kutoka. Uba yangu iko hapa, na come. Kama unakam na Uber akaniambia, ni machagari kwa make bado hajamalizia. Nikamwambia, okay. How many minutes? If you don't show up in 10 minutes, I'm leaving. He didn't even show up in 10 minutes. The only reason why I even stayed so far is because my car was actually being cleaned, honestly. By the way, if it was not for my car, ningekuwa nimetoka. Eventually, like after 20 minutes ago, they got there at 2. I remember he got there at 2. When I saw him, I was so angry, but vile tu alini approach, I think to your anger will disappear. He's okay, I'm 5'6", probably 5'8", 5'9". He's light skinned. Then not complete. He is light skinned, but see at yellow. No, actually he is, but I don't know. He's okay. He leans more on the light skin side than on the chocolate side. And then I think tu alikuja tuna like confidence. Akaniambia so ulikuwa unataka kwenda, nikamwambia he's like usiende, I'm here. Honestly, the anger just nilifeel to your anger iki dissipate pole. Like, okay, sawa. So anyway, the first thing I noted when I saw him was his dressing. I expected more. I did expect more from the way I saw his Instagram page, you know, all the vehicles, change. But like the way I saw he had dressed, it was a bit underwhelming, honestly. Sasa alikuwa amevaa vibani too. I don't know, unexpect mtu kama huyo ana dress, you know, designer, nini. Not even, hata sijajaribu kusema nini. But his dress, he was smart, but ilikuwa tu zileza. Are you really making that type of money if you're dressing like this? You know. Okay, mimi nikasema to each their own. Maybe Hadri fashion, right? Right. So, being the charmer that he is, he opened the door for me. By the way, I was still in my car. Bado haikuwa imeanza kuoshwa. I was in the line. So akanifungulia mlango because I was talking to him through the window. And I was telling him, by the way, I'm going, I'm leaving. So akanifungulia mlango and then nikashuka vizuri. Then tukaenda towards a shack, you know, the restaurant, right? So before you get into the restaurant, there's a place where you wash your hands. So I was like, oh, hold my bag as I wash my hands. I was like, yeah, sure. I was impressed because most guys are always like, mini shige bag yako, you know. He was like, sawa acha nikushike. I washed my hands. And he continued like carrying. Oh no, I think hata mimi nikashika ili aoshe mikono. And then we found a place to sit and we ordered food. Personally, I had dry goat. Definitely he's the one who helped me make an order. But me, the one thing I really wanted was plantain. Then he had wet fry and chipo or something. But the way they're brought, you still have your side plates where you can just serve from anything. I was drinking, I don't drink, so mimi nilikuwa nakunywa Del Monte, he was drinking JD. Right, so we start talking. The first thing I asked him was, how old are you? Honestly, that's because he looked young. Actually, that wasn't the first thing I asked him. I think the first thing I asked him was about, tell me about yourself. And he opened up, by the way. He told me, literally, life story yake yote, like, he told me so much about himself. So the things I was trying to pick up was he from a well-off family, based on the Instagram story, the Instagram post alikuwa anaweka. And from what I could pick up, I think his parents were civil servants, and at that particular point, his dad was living in Amanga and his mother was living, I don't know where, but point is, it became very clear this was not family wealth. And so I asked him, what do you do for a living? And I specifically told him, ama unafanya biashara ya wash. Akaniambia, he responded and told me, why do you say that? Come here, because you're young. And if I'm to judge you from your Instagram, you look very successful. And I don't know any young person who is this successful. Because I told him, me at 27, most of my friends, we're struggling to find our financial footing. Some of us have worked for 3-4 years post-campus. Unapata tu one or the other ameweza kubuy gari through a loan, or maybe the parents have supported them. But I'm like, wewe umebuy E350. Ini gari watu wananunua waki actualize. Like this is a couple people buy late 40s, early 50s, amata probably to tuseme hata late 30s, not at 27. He's like, young, then he told me, but I know young people who are successful. I'm like, okay, name a few. He went ahead and said Bahati, the singer. And I'm like, okay, Bahati anaimbanga, we get it. But then he didn't name anyone else after Bahati. So I told him, tell me how you make your money. Very boldly. By the first date, I asked those bold questions. He told me he works in the oil industry. Kamambia, okay, tell me more. So apparently in the oil industry, there's black oil and white oil. Black oil sasa ni ya gari, because that's what I thought he does, like diesel, nini. Well, kwa namuuliza, right now are you like struggling because, mafuta imepanda, you making profits? Akanambia, that's not what I do. And okay. I gave him a chance to tell me what he does. He told me he works in the white industry. They sell the oil that people use, like, to manufacture, like huku kwa manufacturing companies, even in hospitals, to like burn their stuff. Because he mentioned KNH a lot. He mentioned Steel Apex, Golden Africa Industry or something. So I was just listening to him, and he was talking big numbers. Like this guy was telling me ati kuna hata time alikuwa na making 700k per week. Nikamuuliza, really? He's like, yeah. Then we go on. Then it became very clear that his business is not doing well right now. Kamuza, why is that if you're making so much money? Then he told me that, oh, by the way, let me just say, the beginning of that conversation was that his uncles had an oil farm. That's where he first started. He was a salesperson, and then the uncles wakakosana, bizo ikaenda chini, and since that's the only business he knew post campus, he was like, let me just try and set up my own company. And he had been selling to the clients that alikuwa now. That's actually very bold of you. And how long have you done that? He's like, for like 4 years. I'm like, so that means ulianza kampuni kwa 23. No, he said from 2019. So I was doing the math for him. I even told him, how old are you? Like, show me your ID. No shame, you guys. Me is kwangi shameful. He showed me his ID. He's literally 4 months older than me. So mimi hata nilikuwa nimesha turn 27 because my birthday is in December and we are meeting in Feb. This guy was turning 27 in April. I was like, if age is anything to go by, I don't think you should be. I don't know people who are this successful. He's like, no, they're there. Then comes, so what's the status of the business right now? Can I back it right now? Niko chini. Comes, what happened? He told me last year he got involved in the whole KEMSA story. He brought PPEs. I spent 5.3 M or something. I remember it was 5 million point something. And then when the PPEs came, the price at which they sold them at, because now the scandal had already happened, the KEMSA scandal, it was bad price. Yani walikuwa nazibai sijui 900 ama sijui 2000, ukifactor in like shipping nini, and then wakauza like 900 or something. So he was telling me we made losses, me and two other people who had invested. Nikamwambia okay, so akaniambia, so right now I'm not even selling oil because I don't have capital. Hey, nikamwambia, so what's the plan? He's like, oh, I'm waiting for my sister to give me a loan. So how much money do you need to like stand to get back on your feet? It's like, I need like 2 million. Okay, ideally I would want 6 million because literally trailer moja ya mafuta is about, by the way, let me tell you, I'm really good with information, like such information. Maybe I was doing the numbers in my head. So do 1.6 million for a whole trailer. Long story. So while we were there, somebody saw him, akakuja kumsalimia. So this particular guy, apparently, I came to learn after he went that he was working in one of the industries. He was delivering oil. By the way, when that guy told him, na sasa utatuletea sijui briquettes on top of mafuta, akamwambia, hiyo biashara briquettes, nimefanya diligence yangu, hiyo biz I need a lot. So at this point Nikon, okay, maybe ni ukweli what he's telling me. Then baadaye, as we were talking, he ended up mentioning some other guy I know who's in the oil industry. This guy he mentioned, it sounded like they're best of friends. Like, the men don't even like putting that title on like each other, but it sounded like this guy was his best friend. And how do I know this guy? My ex-boyfriend, the cousin. This guy is the cousin. My ex-boyfriend kept telling me about him, and he's in the oil industry. And I met him once, and I remember he used to drive a BMW, I think 320 series. So now, ujua nimesikia the client, and I've had that guy. So I relaxed and kasema, okay, maybe the story is true. Maybe he does make that type of money. So we continued. Then he happened to tell me, last year I was married. Nikamuliza like, married ama? He's like, no, we were living with that girl, but our folks knew about it. Come, okay, what happened? Why did you guys break up? Because in my head I'm thinking, sasa tuko Feb, mili break up na mtu November, this even won't work. Akaniambia, what was the reason for the break? The only reason why I'm laughing is because now it's a lie. He told me that the girl had like alopecia, like that disease where you have like, you don't have hair growing from like some parts of the hair. So he paid for her to go get that surgery. It's called something. So that whatever hormones they inject on you so they can promote hair growth, it can hinder your fertility. Me, I didn't even know such things. Sorry guys, my battery was blinking, so I had to change it up. So I was telling you guys, I didn't even know anything about alopecia. Honestly, I just know the few things I've heard on reality TV. Period. So he told me this girl, Akanda, she got that procedure done, and then that thing affects her fertility, right? So they'd been trying to conceive. And I'm looking at him like, at 27, you're trying to conceive? He's like, yeah. Because we had lived together since the beginning of 2020. Now it's around mid, and that girl couldn't conceive. Kamwambia, okay. And so apparently one day sijui walikuwa wamelewa, walikuwa wameenda out with them, walikuwa wamelewa, aka bring up your issue. Ama sijui ni yali bring up your issue. Point is, they had a fight about the possibility of not being able to get children. And the fight escalated, and then he told me he slapped her. I looked at him, Zuleza, in this climate, you're slapping a girl. He's like, honestly speaking, my emotions got the best of me, and she was talking so much. I was inebriated. So was she. I slapped her. And then what happened after that? She's like, oh, nilitoka kwa nyumba nikaenda, but alinisema kwa cops, and her family was involved. Story mingi. So he told me once the story got to that point, it couldn't go back. Like they couldn't get back to one another, because now I think it had ni kama alikuwa anasema no, that she had declared war and my family was not happy. I was also not happy because he was like, all the things I'd done for her, why would she take me to court? Tungeka tu chini tuongee. And then but he was like, oh, I even told her, she came looking for me afterwards. So kama so now what's the status, because you know November is not like very far, because right now it's February. Like, I'm so sure you haven't even healed. He's like, no, I've healed. I'm like, okay, so where do you stay? So he tells me he used to live with that girl in Mountain View, right? And he even told me at Ibede used to relate Ashida, because that house they lived in together, it was that girl who went looking for that house. And for that reason, apparently she had put her name on the list. I didn't even know people do that. Anyway, so now when it was time for Wilewali separate, he couldn't even stay in the house because her name was the one that the landlord recognized. And the landlord kept telling him, oh, come, let's change it to your name. But he was just like, the way you just don't think anything can happen, right? So that's what happened. Then, so where did you go after that? Actually, now, since I was done with that story, I found another house in Kiambu Road. Then I asked him, did you go back for your things, like your furniture? He's like, no, I started afresh. Nikamuuliza, the way furniture and furnishing a house in Nairobi is so expensive, why would you leave your things behind? And if you were the guy who was taking care of all these things, that girl is not going to be able to handle the what is it called? The paying the bills, just maintaining the house. He's like, me, the last thing I heard was that the parents were trying to help her parent. Come down. Alright, okay. Then comes okay, so Kiambu Road. He's like, oh, Kiambu Road, I moved in, I got a house, nika furnish. Comes furnish na pesa gani? Na mimi pesa tu ya mafuta. Nikamwambia, Now I was like, na wako na pesa? He's like, alafu there's a girl who had always wanted me, she was much older. And nikamwambia, okay. Then he said the girl had a baby. So one time alikuwa anamuentertain. Ati sijui alitoka job one day, kurudi akapata huo dem move in with like the son and the house girl and like her furniture. So he was like, what the hell is going on? And then he told me he left and he never went back. Those are 2 houses you have furnished and left for the women, everything. Your money then is not hard earned. He's like, why do you say that? Maybe I feel pain when I lose money. Why would you furnish a house twice and you leave things for those women? How? Like, that's not even being a gentleman, that's now being stupid. He's like, it's okay. So where do you currently live? So he told me right now he's living with a friend of his in Ruaka. Kamwambia, wow, uache nyumba mbili uende kuishi kwa rafiki yako. Akanambia, nikamwambia, hey, interesting. Alright, so we talked, ikafika 7. Of course, he asked me like, what do I do? I told him what I do. He asked me, where do I stay? Who do I stay with? I happened to say, I still stay at home, no shame. I was like, oh, you still stay at home? I was like, yeah, I still stay at home. I mean, it's just me and my dad. Why would I be leaving? Let me save my coins and do something else with that money. Case and point business. Yeah, I'm still living at home. I'm not gonna leave my dad alone. Then what else did he ask me? So I told him about my business. Then he told me, I really like that you have a business mind. I like that you're not one of those women who... He was just playing with my emotions looking back now. I was like, yeah, sure. It's not a big deal. So anyway, 7 ikafika. Coffee was 10. Nikamwambia maybe it's time for us to go home. But then we spoke. But then umeshanda date with somebody and you just speak throughout. That was us. So I felt very comfortable. So at the end of the date, we went to the parking. Kachukua gari. Him alikuwa amekuja na Uber. So you're going to hell on Uber? He was like, yeah. Nikamwambia, okay, let me just do you one favor. Get in, I'll drop you. Araka. He's like, you'll drop me Araka? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll drop you. So curfew ni 10, ni 7. He's like, I have time. Nikampeleka hadi Ruaka. Aya. Then, in fact, I even told him you can drive. Lord. tukaenda hadi Rwaka. When I got to the friend's place, guys, I was having another moment of, I think I was having a Nini Leaks moment, like,
where you live, bitch?
You look good.
What is this, honey? I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost. And it had a white refrigerator. I was like, oh, not a white refrigerator. Girl, please put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey. Oh, Lord. Can you?
And let me tell you where I was having those moments. Unasikia the kind of money this man is mentioning, right? So I would expect that even his friends are at that level, if not higher, right? So, and they're nice homes in Rwaka, because I have friends who live in Rwaka, right? So I expected more in terms of the flat they had chosen to stay in. Honestly, I did, but it was just meh. It was just so. But the thing is, I don't like to impose my privilege on other people. If this guy was going through a rough time and it's genuine, there's nothing I could do about it other than accommodate him the way he was. You understand? So for me, it was just like, on top of hizo feelings and kind feels and Nini Leaks, it was more of empathy. Like, I can't believe life has beaten you down to this point, considering all you're telling me. And I even asked him, do you want to pass by the Mac and pick your car? He was like, no, ameshafunga, I'll probably go for it another time. No, he told me that he had been involved in a very, very bad accident. He even showed me pictures, and he told me the one part that he, this story doesn't even make sense now when I think about it, because alikuwa amepeleka gari kwa Mac the previous day, si ndio? So anyway, akaniambia there's a part he's looking for, it's called the front sum, and it needs to be imported from Dubai, nini. Okay, come, okay, fine, sawa. So he invited me to the house, and kinda saw his friend, said hi, nini, asked for water. Then after like, I hung out there for like 30 minutes, I'm not even gonna lie. Nikamwambia, let me go. So he saw me off, si tukatoka, nikaenda, told him sawa. Okay, by the time I was going, I was calling my girlfriends, Washuka, Becca, Diana on the line, and they're like, yo, how did the date go, nini? And I just told them, this guy is giving me my ex vibes, ananipe vibes ex wangu. So I just told them, I'm not even going back. Like, some of the things he said to me, they were not adding up. Nilikuwa tunaambia tu siski comfortable. Na feel this is my ex at an elevated position. So I told them, I'm not even going to contact him again. I'm done.